Hello, I'm John Roth, DJ Libertad with the Hit Squad DJs, and today I have a comparison video between the Numark NS7II and the Rane One. Now, these are my thoughts, my opinions as a mobile DJ and a turntablist. I have no financial disclosures, I don't work for either of these companies. I'm just simply making a video, pros and the cons, from my perspective. And so there's a lot of amazing features between both of these controllers. I'm very excited to look at some of the new features in the Rane One and see how they compare to the NS7II. Let's get into it. Rane One versus Numark NS7II. I'd like to share some of my opinions as a mobile DJ. First up, you can see Numark NS7II is bigger. It's wider, it's deeper, it's heavier. It's about 10 pounds heavier than the Rane One, coming in at 23.5 pounds. The Rane One is actually a very small form factor for an all-in-one unit with spinning platters. The other thing you can see is that the Rane One is taller. With those feet on the bottom, it brings it up to standard mixer height. The Numark NS7II is not quite as tall. Both have incredible all-metal construction that are built like tanks. These things are built to last. Other obvious differences that you can see: 2-channel mixer versus 4-channel mixer. I personally never needed or wanted the 4 channels. I actually assigned 1 channel to mic, 1 channel to auxiliary, to play off iPod for backup. I wish that they had a dedicated auxiliary channel for the NS7II, but they didn't. They also, interestingly, did not include a dedicated sampler for either unit. So you could assign that MIDI mapping. A lot of people had been assigning the second microphone for the Rane One as their sampler volume, which you can do in the MIDI mapping section. Both units have 2 microphone inputs, and the controls are right on the front for the Rane One. One of the microphone controls is right in front for the NS7II, which is quite nice. The other, you had to map to one of the channels, and so I dedicated this channel to the mic. I will say that the sound outputs between these 2 units, there is quite a notable difference. The Rane One is so crisp and clear and punchy. The sound is phenomenal. The Rane One really is just an incredible unit. The Numark NS7II sounds really good too, but when you compare the two, it's a very big difference. It's very notable. The NS7II is definitely louder, but the sound is just different. It's not quite as crisp. It distorts a little easier. The mic channels definitely are louder, and you can get them dialed in to sound really good. The Rane One mic channels are quieter for sure, and you can adjust the volume in Serato DJ Pro software to get them dialed in just the way you like them. But the sound is just so clear. So clear. Other obvious differences are crossfader. Mag 4 ring tension adjustable crossfader. This thing is incredible. And you can, of course, fine-tune the cuts in Serato DJ Pro. I actually installed an Innofader for this guy, and that worked really well. So both units are good in that regard. The stock fader for the NS7II I did not like at all. They both have very nice 100mm pitch sliders. The tension is a little tighter on the NS7II. The Rane One feels very nicely too. It has a center detent as well. The up faders have a little bit of tension with the Rane One, which I'm not really a fan of. A lot of DJs are, but I like to do quick transitions. These are very nice and light. So I do appreciate that. The other big difference is the mirrored layout of the NS7II. So you have start stop like this, a mirrored picture, so there's symmetry here. Whereas the Rane One, we have the start stop both on the left side, and they're basically set up to be independent units with a mixer in the middle, which was the idea here as well. They just mirrored the layout. It goes to your personal preference. I don't have a strong opinion really either way. Both have strip search feature, which is quite handy, scrubbing through your tracks, which is quite nice. There's a dedicated start and stop for the NS7 to dial in how you want your platters to move. There's just stop with the Rane One. I don't have a problem with that. I will say that the Rane One, it is extremely responsive. The platters, if you set it on high torque in the back, they just fire up right away and they stop on a dime. The NS7II is very good as well. There's quite a big difference with the start-stop buttons. These are a little click, a little kind of squishy. These are plunger style, just like the Rane 12 Mark IIs and the Technique 1200 turntables. Definitely, I like the feel of these. These just feel good. Other differences you can see visually, the pads are much smaller on the Rane One than the NS7II. And these are Akai pads. These are probably Akai pads too. They feel similar in a lot of ways. These are perhaps a little bit more squishy. They're both extremely responsive. I don't have a problem with those at all. The different selection here through your software is very similar. The difference being that these are a bit smaller, laid out a little easier, I think. If you hit that sampler twice, you go into the scratch bank, which is quite a fun, exciting feature for Serato DJ Pro with this unit. I also really like the way they laid out the looping section here. I like to just hit a 4-bar loop at the end of a track, do a little transition. You can make it half, double, loop in, loop out. Very simple. Looping was definitely a little more challenging with the NS7II, in my opinion. You had to go to the loop and make your own. So it definitely makes it quite a bit easier. I'll get a closer look here at the front. So our headphone section, we've got split cue option as well. Your crossfader contour. We've got our mic 1 input, which you can turn on and off with its gain, bass, and treble. On the Rane One, we've got mic 1 with low and high, turn on and off. Mic 2, you can switch between auxiliary and mic 2, which is quite nice. Our deck contour for our up faders. We've got our crossfader contour, which is adjustable here and in the software. And we've got our similar headphone section with also split cue option. Let's go around to the back and check out the back here. So there are some big differences in the back as we look at the ins and outs here. Rane One, we've got 2 dedicated mic combi jacks that are together. We've got a dedicated auxiliary. We can do line or phono for both channels. We've got main RCAs along with XLRs and booths, which is pretty phenomenal to have XLR both main and booth. The other big difference that you see here, 2 USBs. We can select our torque. These are locking USBs, which is quite nice. And obviously, if we're doing a transition between 2 DJs, we can select 2 different channels, which is quite nice. That's a really nice feature to have. A dedicated fan with our IEC cable. So there's definitely a lot of features on that Rane One. Let's check out the NS7II. So we've got dedicated combi jack mic 2 with our torque can be high or low. We've also got line and phono ins and outs for 4 channels. We've got one dedicated locking USB, so we cannot switch between DJs easily with the NS7II. Our ins and outs, we've got nice dedicated XLRs for the output. We've got a fan, we've got our master, and our booth as well. These are RCAs, so they're not quite as nice, but they're still there, and we've got our IEC and power. The other nice feature, which I thought was pretty cool, that Numark did is they made, this is actually a little unit that attaches here with a laptop tray. So you can unscrew these and put on a laptop tray right onto the back of the unit, which is a pretty cool idea. I purchased that as well, and it fits right in the case. I just didn't like the angle and the way it was laid out, but it is a really cool idea for sure. The NS7II having many more buttons and features. I really did like this BPM meter, which helped kind of give a visual representation as you're adjusting your BPM between tracks. It'll show you how close you are to being lined up, which was a pretty cool idea. And having dedicated high pass low filters for all the channels with full kill EQ, and you can actually do capacitive touch knobs as well. So you could turn on that feature here, and then you could actually just touch each knob or effect as well to turn it on momentarily, and then it would go off as soon as you let go. So in summary, I'd like to say that these are both fantastic controllers. They are all metal construction, built like tanks. They both sound great. My opinion, Rane One knocked it out of the park. This thing is fantastic. It's got all of the features that a turntablist mobile DJ like myself can appreciate. These platters feel great. They feel basically like little mini 12s. Rane 12s, the platter response is really phenomenal. I love the start-stop feature. It's just like the Rane 12 Mark IIs or the Technique 1200s plunger style. I love the paddles. I love the feel of the crossfader. I like the pads. The looping section is really a plus for me. Looping here was difficult. I didn't like the effects section as much. I don't need 4 channels personally. The sound quality is definitely far superior coming out of this Rane One. I think it's a Rane 70 mixer built in to this unit. And coming in at 23.5 pounds, hands down, much smaller, much lighter, much heavier, much bigger. I also like the dual USB option for the Rane One. Has hang out with buddies, you're going to do transitions between DJs, that's definitely going to make it easy. I like the scratch bank feature, which the NS7 doesn't have at this point. And I think that it's available in Serato DJ eventually for all controllers. But hands down, Rane One knocked it out. I am very impressed, very excited to own this thing, to play with it. This is going to be my new go-to for pretty much most all mobile events. And in fact, I like it so much, I'm considering selling my Rane 12s and just sticking with this. So there you have it. Those are my opinions. Feel free to share any thoughts, or if you have questions, put them in the link below. I'm happy to answer questions. I hope you get a personal chance to get your hands on both of these to test them out yourself. All right. Thanks very much for watching, and take care.